What's going on, guys? 360 Digital Closing Bell here. I am your humble correspondent, Michael Tanner. We are live on YouTube from an undisclosed location here in Denver, Colorado on a gorgeous June 25th, 2020. It is a Thursday. It's been a crazy day in the markets. As always, we are joined by my executive producer, the purveyor of the show, and the director and publisher of the world's greatest website, oilandgas360.com, Stuart Turley. Stu, how you doing today, my man?
I'm doing fantastic. It's just a corny day in the news, dude.
Oh, it's every day seems to get more crazy than the other. I mean, today was slightly. I don't say the news is necessarily that nuts. There's just so much going on and how it all intertwines. We'll cover what happened in the markets today. Energy equities actually sort of lead the way in the S&P 500, which is really good to see. But first, guys, just subscribe. 360 Digital Closing, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, the best place for all of your energy finance stuff. We come to you, like I said, live every day on YouTube, but also we have a week ahead and a week look back podcast. We'll be dropping one tomorrow morning. Please check that out. Like I said, all of your podcast platforms. Equities markets did okay today. SPY was 30.83. That's about a percentage increase. Really led the way though by two sectors. As I mentioned, energy equities, which you will see, it was up about 2 percentage points, but also banks. Banks traded about 3 to 4 percentage points higher. And really the big move and reason why the S&P was there is because the Fed came in and relaxed a lot of restrictions that bank has, both on how they have to allocate capital between different derivative trading partners. You know, when you talk about margin calls for prop traders, me and you, when we, Stu, when we sign up for our Interactive Brokers account and we get and so at some point, Goldman Sachs needs a broker. I mean, they're their own broker. So you have to have regulations on how you do that. And there's so much cash you have to have. And so what they did was sort of ease some of those regulations, which should free up some capital. They also are allowing investment banks to more easily invest in venture capital funds, which would be very, very interesting and could see that chain, especially in the technology space, move. But that's really what drove SPY up a percentage point. Tech stocks finished about 10,068 even. So good to see NASDAQ above 10,000. That's a 0.65 percentage point increase. Dow Jones finishes below 26,000, but has a nice 300-point gain on the day. 25,745. That's a 1.8% increase. Crude oil does really well, actually leading the way on all of our indices, up 2.7 percentage points. 39.07, trading down under $38 early in the session, though. So nice dollar increase for crude oil there. Back into the curve, 40.44. That's a 2.3 percentage point increase for 12-month strip. Natural gas gets pounded today. 9 percentage points wiped out. I'm about ready to get out of our natural gas position all the way down to $1.45. Like I said, wiping off 14 cents on an index or 9 whole percentage points. Back into the curve, though, holds up fairly steady. Only a 2% drop. 266, only about 4 cents on that one. So even that 12-month outlook's not looking good. And I know we keep hearing, from the experts everywhere that gas is going to be $3-4. I don't know, Stu. As always, I am skeptical. XOP, which is our E&P securities contract, 52.25. That's a 2 percentage point increase or a whole dollar move on that index, which is really good. Second leading index under the SPY behind, obviously, as I mentioned, banks, OIH, which are oilfield services contract, $122. And 71 cents. That's 460 on that index, or about 3.9 percentage points. So a really, really, really good day for our energy equities. When we look on the downside, though, Contura Energy Inc. Down 7 percentage points, $3.03. Barnwell Industries down $1.23. That's a 7.5% clip. And Battalion Oil Corporation down to $9.99 or 7.59% increase. On the upside, though, good numbers is Whiting Petroleum up 8.2 percentage points. They're a dead man walking. Chesapeake Energy, talk about a dead man walking. $12.78, 9.14 percentage points. And our biggest mover on the day, Earthstone Energy Inc. up to $3.04. That's a 14% clip. Great website. Highly recommend. Go to earthstoneenergyinc.com. Check out their website. We love their website. Please check out also, before we get into the international news, guys, I keep preaching this every single day. Please, theoilandgasconference.com. I'd highly recommend checking out what's happening for the Oil and Gas Conference. This is usually an event that happens in Denver, but due to the coronavirus, they're now going to make it digital and give everybody access. I mean, talk about an opportunity you have to come and be part of a conference to learn about the top level companies and what they're doing from an investor set, sit through all the presentations, be able to go to breakout rooms. It's an unbelievable conference, and I highly recommend checking out theoilandgasconference.com for all information. Stu, what's going on the international news desk?
Oh, hey, Michael, I got two things. ESG and capital is really
No
been
kidding.
a real issue, and it's coming over from
Yep.
Europe in such a way that our experts over at Intercom have really got that going. Well, I put up an article on this, and it's ESG funds setting a record pace for launches in
Mhm.
2020. It's affecting the majors. It's going to affect the minors. It's going to affect anybody. So if you ain't got ESG, you ain't going to survive. You ain't got good management, you ain't going to survive. So ESG and capital, it's on the news desk here. I got one more for you here, and this one's kind of odd. Deep in the heart of Texas, you got a Chinese company putting in a wind farm. All right, we deal in WTI all the time. I'm going to say WTF. All right. Why in the world do we have a Chinese wind farm coming into Texas at
I
a proposed blue, hang on, a proposed blue wind project at Laughlin Air Force Base? It is a security nightmare, and Trump is not going to do anything about it. I'm going to call the governor right after this show. This is ridiculous.
No, I saw your publisher's note you posted on that, and you're exactly right. I mean, it's you want to talk about the security issues surrounding what's going on. I mean, we have a great interview coming up along this note, and I'm sure you're going to put some of them questions down for this. And I won't tease it quite yet. We'll cut the interview up, but that's a little teaser for Energy 360. But yeah, unbelievable. We'll have to follow that story. If we can we'll have to get Governor Abbott on the show to see if he can give us an overview of why he hasn't done anything yet. It'll be fun. I got you laughing over there. So my one big thing for the day is I got a couple different things. As we mentioned last week, CRC was given an extension to June 30th for their interest payments. Well, today they actually paid the interest due on those 2024 bonds. So CRC lives to fight another day. As I mentioned earlier with Whiting and Chesapeake, I mean, dead men walking. This is a dead company walking as well. But they do live to fight another day. If you're a bondholder, or an equities trader, you hold out one more day, can make a couple more trades on CRC. Also, Occidental raising a little cash in the interim right now. They're doing a senior note swap that's due in 2021, trying to raise. You look at the tender offer, they're looking at about you could possibly. It doesn't really give you a good breakdown of exactly how much they're worth. They're looking to raise at least $300 to $400 million, though. You can definitely see that on the report. All of this is available on the Oil and Gas 360 news desk. There's another interesting thing that dropped. Dallas Fed survey came out that sort of overviews how the overall economy is doing. Oh, and just if I'd go read this report on the Oil and Gas 360 news desk, but E&P production index fell to negative 62.6. That's, I mean, it's not a percentage. It's just a relative index. I don't need to get into how the Dallas Fed ranks these. Just to let you know, that is a horrible number. And so we feel the pain that's coming out right now. You can take my word for it. Also, jobless claims today did come in a little higher today. So we are monitoring that from an overall equity standpoint. Second week in a row, jobless claims were up for what they thought. So again, that's what's sort of holding down some of these equity markets. But yeah, it keeps getting crazy. Tomorrow, we'll see what happens on Friday. As I mentioned, we'll have a podcast come out tomorrow morning, sort of covering all the top stories that happened on the closing bell this week. Stu, anything else for these guys? We let them finish up their day?
No, not a thing. It's been a funny week.
It has been a funny week. And with that, we'll go ahead and let you guys get back to work. Thank you for checking out the 360 Digital Closing Bell here on Oil and Gas 360. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the long form podcast and in the afternoon for the Digital Ticker.